Well, 13 News Now at 5 starts right now.
We're starting with breaking news at 5. After nearly 2 decades, the war in Afghanistan may soon end. A temporary truce between the U.S. and the Taliban is in effect. The two sides could sign a peace deal next week.
We've been at war with the Taliban for over 18 years, since shortly after 9/11, and leaders spent months negotiating the terms of this peace deal. It could still fall apart. It's conditional on a successful week-long effort to reduce violence in Afghanistan, and we'll keep a close eye on it.
Shifting gears to the weather, and what a difference a day makes. Yesterday we were dealing with a mix of rain and snow across the area.
Now it's just blue skies and a nice sunset over the Elizabeth River. But even though it may look nice, it is cold out there.
It is. Meteorologist Evan Stewart is in now with your Friday night forecast.
That's right. It is cold, and those winds making it feel even colder through much of the day today. Wind chills were in the 20s. Sunshine through much of the area, though, as we head down towards Kill Devil Hills right now, 33 degrees. And you can see those clouds right there as we look over towards the Wright Brothers Memorial. So still some clouds lingering across North Carolina. And even if we take a look at Virginia Beach, 33 degrees, looking off towards the south, we've got some of those clouds down there as you head well past Rudy Inlet. Everybody else pretty much in the 30s across the area, and a clear sweep here showing up on the radar. Temperatures, as we mentioned, in the 30s, 34 in Norfolk, 33 Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, 34 in Currituck, 36, a little bit milder back inland, 39 the warm spot up in Williamsburg. But that doesn't tell the whole story. You have to take a look at those winds that are coming in out of the north-northeast, and it drops those temperatures, especially through coastal areas. Right now, even, it feels like only 21 degrees down in Manio, 24 in Norfolk and Chesapeake, and back into the lower 30s in inland locations where the winds aren't quite as strong. The good news is the winds will gradually diminish as we head here through the evening, but temperatures will be dropping. So by midnight, we're looking at readings in the upper 20s. Wind chills will be about in that level as well. This is closer to the coastline. Inland spots where we have some of that snowpack, temperatures will drop even more. Take a look at those overnight low temperatures, and I'll have the rest of your weekend forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Elizabeth City saw a decent amount of snow, and NCDOT crews were kept busy monitoring the roads. 13 News Now reporter Allie Weatherton updates us from North Carolina.
The roads here in Elizabeth City don't have any snow on them, and while schools and some local businesses shut down for the day, other businesses here in town remained open.
As long as people were driving the roads and coming in, we figured we'd be open.
And hoping to serve customers at Paradiso Roma Restaurante. Owner Andrew LeClaire decided to welcome guests after checking out the roads Friday morning. Shutting down the restaurant for the day would have affected more people than those just looking to eat.
We're a tight-knit team. It's a small town, and we have probably 15 full-time employees that work here and rely on, the money, rely on like it's a Friday night.
NCDOT says crews worked throughout the night checking the roads as well as bridges and overpasses. It turned out the weather wasn't that bad.
So we came out at 3 and we put salt in those areas, for the traffic in the morning, because we have a lot of people in Currituck that travel to Virginia to work. So we wanted to make sure that the road was safe for the traveling public.
13 News Now meteorologists say people in Elizabeth City saw about 1.5 inches of snow.
It looked different this morning, and anytime I see that they put safety first, I appreciate that, because my wife and I have kids in the school system. So
NCDOT officials want drivers to be extra careful. They say there is a chance black ice could still be on the roads. In Elizabeth City, Allie Weatherton, 13 News Now.
The snow really came down hard in Suffolk, which meant plow drivers had a busy morning. Their main focus was on the main roads and keeping those clear for anyone who needed to get to work. Some contractors pulled an all-nighter, but they were excited for the chance to get on the roads and get to work.
Even when you're in a piece of equipment, it's always a blast to get out here and just push it all around.
Public Works crews were also busy on the roads. They had to clear up a lot of trees that the snowstorm knocked over before the morning commute started. Well, viewers like you have been instrumental in helping us show what the snow was like all around the area. You've been sending in great pictures and videos. Brian Farrell is here with a look through some of them.
And some really great ones, Jen. A few people spent time out there making snowmen. We had Danielle up in Newport News who shared this one. Says stands 5 feet tall. Very nice. How about Kim in Hickory? She managed to put together enough for 3 snowmen. Also, we are looking at some cute children enjoying their first snow. Eric and Moyak, he's one of the daybreakers, shared these pics of Braxton soaking it all up. Christine in Virginia Beach shared this picture. This little one, you can see, really excited. Just a little snowball, but hey, that's all it takes to get excited. And not a cute child, but wait for it, a cute kid. Garland, the Nigerian dwarf goat. These are like my favorites, probably. 20 days old, bundled up, hanging out in the snow. Courtney from Chesapeake, thank you. She shared that and many others with us. So remember, you can send pictures to us now with your phone. Just text them, 628-6200, area code 757. Janet.
Those are very cute. Thank you, Brian. All right, remember, take the forecast with you using the 13 News Now app. Point your cell phone camera at the screen right there. It'll scan the QR code and take you to our website. You can download the app for free.
We have sad news now from Suffolk, and it hits very close to home for all of us here at 13 News Now. A man who died in a crash this morning was a former employee and friend. Suffolk police say Byron Burney's truck crashed on Manning Road off Route 58 before dawn. We still don't know much about the accident. Byron was our station's operations manager for years. He'll be missed by many of us, and we're thinking of his family tonight. Byron was just 61 years old. In Norfolk, a man is in the hospital in critical but stable condition after someone shot him. This happened around 4 o'clock this morning. Police charged Joseph Riddick with aggravated malicious wounding. He's in jail tonight. Investigators haven't said anything about the circumstances of the shooting or any potential motive.
New at 5, for the second time recently, the Navy announced a carrier group had deployed after they were already gone. This time, it's the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group. The 6,000 sailors left on January 17th for a pre-deployment exercise and didn't come back. 13 News Now military reporter Mike Gooding has the latest.
The Ike is on its way, but where it's going, nobody is saying. In a news release Thursday, the U.S. Second Fleet said that Carrier Strike Group 10 had successfully completed pre-deployment composite unit training exercises and had departed for deployment. The move seems to fall under the Navy's new dynamic force employment concept. It's designed to keep potential adversaries guessing about troop and warship deployments overseas. The release did not say where the Ike Group is now bound. In addition to the aircraft carrier Eisenhower, the group includes the guided missile cruisers USS San Jacinto and USS Vela Gulf, and the guided missile destroyers USS Stout, USS James E. Williams, and USS Truxtun. The group also includes 4 FA-18 Hornet and Super Hornet strike fighter squadrons from Oceania. This is the second consecutive aircraft carrier strike group deployment that the Navy did not announce until after the primary ship was already gone. In late November, the USS Harry S. Truman pulled out of Naval Station Norfolk, but the Navy did not announce it was actually deployed until the next day, December 1st. The Truman is now conducting operations in the North Arabian Sea. The Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Mike Gilday, said in a post on the Eisenhower's Facebook page, "Godspeed to the men and women of the Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group who deployed today. The work these sailors do in the coming months will ensure continued freedom of the seas and the liberties we enjoy at home." Mike Gooding, 13 News Now.
Now to a crime alert in Hampton. A man is dead after a shooting, and police are trying to find out who killed him. It happened around 2:30 this morning on West Pembroke Avenue. Police say by the time they got to the scene, the man was dead. They haven't identified him yet and aren't saying anything about a possible suspect in this case either.
Right now, police in Portsmouth are asking for your help to find a woman who escaped from their custody. Angela Young has been on the run for more than 24 hours now. Police took her in for a probation violation yesterday. While she was waiting to be processed, they say she got out of her handcuffs and took off running. She's facing a new charge for the escape now. If you see her or you know where she could be, call police right away.
Norfolk police have a man locked up who they say threatened the Speaker of the House of Delegates. Police took Stephen Hartzell into custody yesterday. They say he threatened to burn or bomb Speaker Eileen Fillercorn. In a post on her Facebook page earlier this month, authorities say Speaker Fillercorn reported it to Capitol Police right away. She is the first woman to serve as Speaker in the Commonwealth.
Leaders are trying to improve housing opportunities in James City County. They want tenants and landlords to weigh in on the Section 8 program as they work to update the current housing administration plan. This could affect people applying for Section 8 vouchers. 13 News Now reporter Nico Clemens breaks down the plan.
In about a month, James City County leaders hope to get input on the 2020 draft administrative plan for its Housing Choice Voucher program. also known as Section 8. HUD requires local governments to hold public hearings whenever leaders want to update documents relating to housing choice vouchers.
We do really want citizen input, and we do really want our local landlord input.
The last time county leaders approved the Housing Choice Voucher Administrative Plan was 2017. One major change to the revised plan includes who local leaders give preference to get off the waiting list and receive housing vouchers.
We want every opportunity to share this information with them, whether it's a change in our payment standard or a new voucher opportunity for the tenants, and what the preference requirements are.
James City County awards 184 vouchers from HUD. Currently, there are 3,800 people on the waiting list. 500 of them live or work in the county.
Well, we want them to feel that they're a part of the process. We don't want our landlords to feel like we're dictating everything to them.
There are 6 apartment complexes in the county that accept Section 8 vouchers, including Lafayette Apartments. Tanel Robinson has lived here 3 years.
It's the cheapest rent in Williamsburg.
She says the more people who can get housing vouchers.
Elderly, young, old, middle-aged people.
Right. The more that'll improve housing opportunities in the county. In James City County, Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.
Next, we catch up with a local man who was quarantined after he evacuated the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. And later, we verify whether it's legal to send political calls and text to a phone that's on the Do Not Call registry. This is 13 News Now at 5.
It's a happy day for a Newport newsman who is finally back home after trying to get away from the coronavirus outbreak. We first told you about his story a few weeks ago.
Sergio McCrae, a teacher in Wuhan, returned to the U.S., but he had to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. Now he's back in town. Reporter Adriana D'Alba caught up with him in a story you'll see only on 13 News Now.
That's right. He flew back in late last night, and after spending 14 days quarantined at a military base in Texas, you can imagine he's relieved to have the all clear and be back home with his family tonight.
It's been quite a journey for Sergio McCrae, teaching in Wuhan, then having to evacuate because of the coronavirus outbreak. The last time we spoke with him, he was getting ready to board a plane in China and head back to the U.S.
Last lifeboat, might as well get on it.
Ever since then, he's been here, quarantined at this military base in Texas. He got the all clear Thursday and flew back to Norfolk International. He's grateful to be back in Newport News.
It feels real good. It feels good to get to be back in Newport News with my family and my friends. I mean, I can go anywhere I want, move around, that I'm safe and healthy.
He describes the last 2 weeks in quarantine as repetitive, with limited contact with people.
7 a.m. we would go down, get our temperature checked. They would deliver breakfast. We have open town hall, and we would just gather around outside where it was safest to have a bunch of people. And we would maintain our distance while they just informed us whatever new updates that may have come around. It didn't feel long at all.
In the middle of it all, he kept busy, continuing to teach his students in Wuhan English through online classes. While he was desperate to get back to the U.S., he says Wuhan feels like home too. After all, it's been his base for the last 6 years.
We asked him what's next. Would he consider going back to Wuhan after all of this? You'll hear his answer coming up at 6. Adriana D'Alba, 13 News Now.
Fears about coronavirus still are growing. Worldwide, there are more than 76,000 cases. In Ukraine, protesters and police clashed with a plane when it landed from China with evacuees. In Turkey, they turned away another plane with more than 250 people on board. And in Japan, people finally have left the Diamond Princess cruise ship after being quarantined for 2 weeks. Some of those passengers have questions and concerns about how the U.S. Embassy handled this situation.
No one seems to care if something happened to me. I don't know when my wife would be notified or anybody else because they can't seem to even contact me.
There may be some hope moving forward here. The World Health Organization is running drug trials on 2 potential vaccines right now.
Developing tonight, President Trump is minimizing new warnings from U.S. intelligence experts that Russia is interfering in this year's election campaign. Intelligence officials told lawmakers in a classified briefing last week that Russia is meddling with the hope of getting Mr. Trump reelected. Officials are concerned about everything from disinformation to ransomware. President Trump was at a rally last night when this news first broke. He went on the attack against the committee chair.
That little Adam Schiff, what a crooked politician. He's a corrupt politician.
Congressman Adam Schiff led the impeachment proceedings in the House. Schiff responded on Twitter saying the president is, quote, again jeopardizing our efforts to stop foreign meddling.
In Idaho, a mom is behind bars after her 2 kids who disappeared last year. Police arrested Lori Vallow in Hawaii. She's charged with child abandonment. It's a bizarre story. No one has seen her 7-year-old son and 17-year-old daughter since September. Vallow and her husband reportedly told investigators the boy was staying with a friend in Arizona and the girl died a year ago. That was her story. Attorneys for the mom say she's a loving parent. Family members say they hope the arrest will lead to some answers.
All right, Evan Stewart's back now with the forecast. Lots of sun out there, Evan.
There has been lots of sun, and there'll be lots of sun this weekend as well. And if you don't like the cold weather, temperatures will be warming up into the 50s this weekend, and by next week, we're up into the 60s. Of course, with the warmer weather comes a chance at some rain. Live radar right now is clear across eastern Virginia, North Carolina. Of course, a big difference from this time yesterday. And we did see a lot of sunshine today. I wanted to show you the satellite from a little bit earlier. This is the visible satellite, which is basically the satellite just taking a picture of the clouds. And the one thing you'll notice is all this gray back here. This is the snowpack up across the eastern shore and really from about central Chesapeake westward. Those were the areas that really were the bullseye for some of the heaviest of the snow. As I zoom in, you can sort of see how the clouds were moving over it. But the stuff that's not moving, that's the snowpack. And that will be going away pretty quickly as temperatures will be warming up. Now, even this morning, still tracking some snow and rain across coastal areas. That quickly came to an end. And again, we saw the sunshine across the area today. And as we take a look at the entire country, not much out there with a big ridge of high pressure building in. We've got some showers down towards the southwest and off the coast of California, but this is the weather we'll see the next few days. High pressure in control and clear skies to our west. We're looking at several days of sunshine. Clear skies tonight, and some of that snowpack will mean temperatures will be taking a big drop later as we go into some of the inland areas. Winds continue out of the north by 11 o'clock. Inland spots well down into the 20s, and I think there'll be a few spots that hit the upper teens later tonight inland. Closer to the water, still in the 20s to around 27, 28 degrees right along the coastline. The good news again, the winds will be diminishing, and sunshine through the day on Saturday. And a little bit of a shift in the wind direction will mean high temperatures in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. So warmer for your Saturday. Saturday evening, we're looking at mainly clear skies. Temperatures drop once again below freezing in inland locations, but those south and southwest winds will continue through the day on Sunday, and temperatures will be even warmer, climbing into the mid-50s. Even some spots could reach the upper 50s, and as I mentioned, next week we'll be back up into the 60s. Now, outside right now, we have mainly clear skies. This is our camera on top of the western looking off towards the south. 34 degrees, but when you factor in that wind out of the north at 15 miles per hour, it feels more like 24, and the air is bone dry. Humidity at 54%, giving us a dew point of 19 degrees, and the pressure is holding steady. Other temperatures, 33 degrees in Currituck, Manio, 34 in Hertford, 35 Smithfield and Surrey, 34 in Melfa, 34 Wachapreague, Hampton, Portsmouth, 36 in Gatesville, and 32 in Kill Devil Hills. So for tonight, low 20s, maybe even a few upper teens inland, clear and cold, 26 as the official low. And tomorrow we're looking at increasing sunshine, lots of sunshine through the day, with clear skies, a high temperature of 50 degrees. 7-day forecast up to 57 on Sunday, 56 Monday, a few more clouds and some late day showers possible, and a good chance at some rain on Tuesday with a high of 66. Scattered showers Wednesday, 64, and as we head towards the end of the week, temperatures drop, 54 on Thursday and 47 Friday.
Well, a lot of kids stayed home from school today because of the snow. Some of their parents did too. Our crews were out in Chesapeake today where people were sledding, snowboarding, and even snow tubing. This was the first snow day for many schools in almost 2 years, and everyone we saw definitely made the most of it.
Wow, that person's moving fast.
They are.
All right, next, presidential hopefuls ramp up their campaign efforts, calling and texting your cell phone. But if you're on the Do Not Call registry, are those efforts legal? We verify next.
With the primaries in full swing and Super Tuesday weeks away. Candidates are ramping up their ads. You may have gotten calls or even text messages from some candidates vying for your votes.
A viewer wanted to know if you're on the Do Not Call registry, are those texts and calls legal? 13 News Now anchor Dan Kennedy verifies.
I heard Mike Bloomberg speak.
It's that time of year when political campaigns are trying to get your attention any way they can.
And change is what we got.
They're on your TV. In some cases, they're calling and texting you. That's why Robert King emailed our Verify team. He wants to know, do political campaigns have the right to send a text to our phones when the number is listed on the Do Not Call list? Our sources for this question are the FTC and the FCC. Generally speaking, political calls can be made to people on the Do Not Call registry. It's one of 5 exceptions to the FTC's rules. But Robert asked specifically about text, and the FCC has its own set of rules for that. It says auto-dial text messages are not allowed without consent. What are allowed are manually dialed texts. That's regardless of whether you're on the Do Not Call registry or not. So we can verify political campaigns do have the right to text you, as long as a real person is typing out your number and sending you the message. Dan Kennedy, 13 News Now.
The Do Not Call registry won't save you from political calls, but it can stop a lot of spam callers from getting to you. To sign up, go to donotcall.gov and click Register Your Phone. And as always, if you have a question about anything, any claim that you may have heard and you're just not sure if it's true, let our Verify team figure it out for you. Email us at verify@13newsnow.com or just reach out on social media. Coming up, we'll take a look inside the Operations Center of VDOT to see what they need to do to prepare for a winter storm. New details on the case of former Norfolk Sheriff Bob McCabe and why a founder of a failed airline is now behind bars. Stay with us.